Okay, I have an idol, a PS, Death Adder, and Anomalous. And he's win trading. Cool. Can this team beat an idol and Anomalous? Probably not. But I'm going to queue the same team because I don't want him to just forfeit. If he sees the same team, maybe he'll try. Because I am here to pet battle, not to trade wins. I could try to come up with a counter team to him, but ideally I just get somebody else. Okay, we got a Bone Serpent and an MPD. Skitterbot's, tanky. Don't have a humanoid to 1v1 him. Okay, who do I think he's going to start with? I'm going to start with Buttercup. He'll be good versus any of these pets. He's kind of my best matchup versus... Man, these two are just a big problem for Trunks. I don't know. I wonder if this is maybe the same guy as before and he countered me in 3 seconds. Seems unlikely. Let's go for Call of Winter. I'll be surprised if he goes for Darkness because it does weak damage. Yeah, he went for Bone Brush. He's following the script. So he gets stunned. Buttercup is by far my best pet versus the Skitterbot, so it'd be very nice of him to swap him in right now. I feel like he'll probably bring in the MPD. Which I do have a decoy breaker for. Let me let me attack. Oh, we brought in the Skitterbot. Okay. Yeah, Buttercup's actually pretty good versus this whole team. Surely he has the smoke cloud. There's just no way he would have toxic smoke, right? Let's go for an attack. That was a nice crit. Alright, while he's dodging, let's get some AoE damage out. It's buffed now. Does a little bit extra damage. Extra 35 damage. That's not bad. Okay, well, I'm faster. So he should not kill me with a flurry, even if he gets a crit. And I could stun him now. Now's a great time to stun him because he's taking extra 50% reduced damage. Yeah, worded that terribly, but you know what I'm trying to say. He takes less damage. Okay, Buttercup is kind of farming this guy, actually. I want to try to save my Call of Winter. No, I changed my mind. Let's just, I want to try to save my Buttercup in general. He's really good. He's probably going to go for that Call Darkness now because it does kill me. I don't want to lose Buttercup. He's too good. I don't know. Swapping is passing and passing is bad. I'm going to stay in. If he kills me, it's probably better that I take it on Buttercup than one of my full HP pets. Okay, so if I go for a Chomp, I take out his Undead Racial. As long as I don't miss. Okay. Rotten Puff. Fortunately, I am faster than the MPD. That's pretty good. I really, really, really... Oh, man, I really want to land this Great Sting, but I can go for an Uncanny Luck. For the... I think I just have to hope that the 10% mischance doesn't screw me over. Okay, thank goodness. Because I knew he was going to go for Decoy anyways, and then I'm just, yeah, missing turns to Decoy. Okay, do I go for Uncanny Luck to buff the crit chance? Let's see, 90's one. Yeah, it's worth it, because if one of those crits on the Bone Serpent, I think I just win. Oh, come on, Sting, crit for me. That'd be so good. Okay, so he's gonna come in and die. That works too. I think it was still worth it to go for the Uncanny Luck. At least I can't miss my Chomp now. Okay, so he goes up in the air. Alright, nothing better to do than Uncanny Luck. I mean, my options are that or swap to Trunks, who doesn't have a whole lot of good options without Uncanny Luck, so let's go for... Yeah, let's go for Great Sting. I think I'm in the clear here. He doesn't have Decoy for 3 turns. Oh, he got a crit on me, though. Okay. Well, should be fine nonetheless, because he doesn't have a Weather Changer, so I can just... Moonfire, and then I'll go first with 1 Alex Fly, which will have a 100% hit chance once Darkness is gone. That crit was scary, but he was too far behind for it to matter. It's a tough game fighting two mechanicals with Trunks, because, I mean, he has Avalanche, but that's not really why I have him. Stupid visual bug. Obviously, the combo is all magic damage. And not only does he have 2 mechanicals, but he has a decoy, an extra plating, and a dodge, so I feel like if he played that better, he should have farmed me. Buttercup gave him a lot of trouble, though. He needed to try to burn down Buttercup faster. I think he threw by swapping out his Bone Serpent. He would have probably been better off just staying in once he got stunned, because his Bone Serpent's going to be the most damage, and he's going to burn down Buttercup the fastest. So yeah, he should have just taken the stun, passed, and then burned down Buttercup as fast as possible, because, I mean, maybe he was worried I would swap out Buttercup, but I had no intentions of doing that. Your general best bet is to not pass your turns and instead go for damage. Gotta think about how to... what team to play in order to have a better chance versus that guy, because I feel like I got lucky beating him with this team. Maybe it's better than I predicted, matchup-wise, but... I mean, these 2 pets are pretty low HP. An AoE team would be very scary for this team, especially like an AoE team with an MPD, because MPD is a perfect counter to Trunks. So I'm looking at this team. My only decoy breakers are Acid Rain and Puncture Wound, and those are both really bad. Because if you're using Puncture Wound to break decoy, you're not doing much damage. And if you're using Acid Rain as a decoy breaker, then it just doesn't work in a 1v1. I think it still works if he has 2 pets, but you see what I mean? Like, if he saves the MPD as his cleanup pet, which is, I believe, how he played, and the correct way to play an MPD. I'm stuck with a rabbit. I am so sad. It's been years, and I'm still sad about them recoding Flurry to not break decoy. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this team. If I go 0-3 with it, I might actually just... Maybe I put it in super fun teams. Maybe I just delete it. I think I should delete it because it looks like none of these pets are, well, you could say the rabbit's S tier. I feel like they're all A tier pets. They're good pets, so if, well, okay, it's not really fair if I'm always queuing into strong teams like this. Yeah, that PS rabbit actually, or the PS Death Adder is actually better for him than the SS because he's still faster where he would have been faster. I don't know. I think what I should do is start with the Kunshong. Okay, he starts with the Death Adder. Surely, surely, surely he goes for the blind, right? There's no way he goes for the dot. Okay, good. We predicted that. Do I go for burrow or dodge? Burrow or dodge? Burrow or dodge? Let's go for dodge. The only time I'd want to go for burrow is if I know that he's going to play like a bot and bring in his Anubis Seth Idol, which he might, but yeah, he did. Okay, well, I could still probably Burrow a Sandstorm? Is it worth going for that? If I know he's going to use Sandstorm, it is worth it. Do I just bring in somebody else? What if he's weird and uses Crush? Let's go for Burrow. I'm hoping that he goes for Sandstorm. Okay, that's good. He'll probably use Deflection. If he doesn't use Deflection, I'm confident he has Rupture. Okay, so he has Deflection. Sadly, I don't really have a great way to punish that. I could like bring in the Coonchong Hatchling and try to puncture wound him, but all he has to really do is just swap, and then the dot does no damage to him. I'm still going to bring in the Coonchong because I take weak damage to Crush. Oh, well. Maybe he predicted that. Might go for Toxic Fumes. Let's go for Poison Fang. It'd be ideal for me to get Pheromones out when I'm closer to 50% HP, so it'll do more damage. Okay, I don't think Puncture Wound's enough to kill him yet. I'm going to go for it anyways. My Beast Ratio will be irrelevant versus Anomalous. Well, not irrelevant. Oh, it actually totally did kill him. Okay. Good job, Coonchong Hatchling. That was poggers. Alright, the blind is just so obvious. Does he fall for the same trick? Do I swap on the rabbit? What if he's a weirdo? Doesn't blind me. I think he's going to be a bot and go for blinding poison. No! Oh my gosh, he went for puncture wound. That was clever. Huh. I should have stayed in and taken that on the Coonchong, I think. Because that hurt real bad. Alright. Well. Now we go for Burrow. Because if he brings in the idol, I want to try to hit him hard with a Burrow. I don't want him swapping in and taking flurry damage. Okay. It's honestly a little questionable of him to save that Death Adder hatchling. Because I want the rabbit versus him later. I guess he was versus the rabbit here, but I don't know. I would have probably taken that Burrow on the Death Adder instead of the idol, but sadly, I think he still wins. All right. I have dodge up, so he's going to go for deflection, which means I may as well take the time now to swap. I think what I'll do is I'll bring in Blight Breath, change that weather on him. Oh, he didn't. Oh, he swapped. Huh. Didn't expect that. This guy's kind of like move-wise, I feel like not playing that well. No, no, that puncture wound is actually really smart. Okay. Well, let's go for an acid rain. I don't want that sandstorm out. There's the blind. I feel like I have to bring in the rabbit because the rabbit is just beyond useless versus the idol. I'm just so far behind. He hits so hard. Okay. Kills me with one attack, so I think Burrow is the move here. Does he go for the swap to deflection? He's not. He's just choosing good matchups. His swaps are like on point. Actually, his swaps are on point, and I can't think of. I hate this guy for playing these pets, the idol and the anomalous, but he's playing them well. Credit where credit is due. Okay, let's go for a dodge. Last time I went for a dodge, he brought the Death Adder hatchling. Maybe he'll do that again. Okay. So I'm starting to see a pattern with how he plays. I still just do negative damage with Flurry under Sandstorm. He just has to hit me once and it's over. I'll just sacrifice the rabbit. I don't think I win, so I'm gonna stop swapping around to delay the inevitable. Sandstorm is up, so maybe... Maybe I can make something happen if he misses here. This team is just shut down single-handedly by one idol. The other two pets weren't really a huge problem. I mean, Death Adder's not great, but okay. Maybe he'll miss. That's the only way I win, if he misses here. No. Well, Light Breath is not going to 1v2, that's for sure. He changes weather, but it's about to change anyways. Let's go for Toxic Smoke. Okay, it hits him hard. Oh, I missed. Cool, great, awesome. GG. Fucking sandstorm. All right, so I keep getting the Wind Trader. How do I counter him? Gleamhoof Fawn do great, although he does have that Death Adder. Maybe the Autumnal Sproutling would be better. You could play the Koonchong again. Koonchong's not fantastic versus Anomalous, but he does take him out quickly. And then I have the yeah, this seems like it would be a decent team versus that guy. Because Lost Quill's going to do great versus the Death Adder, probably. Especially once I get some Pheromones damage out. And then Autumnal Sproutling is one of the best counters for the Idol. Okay, so what does he start with? I forgot. Wasn't it the Death Adder? Let's start with the Lost Quill. That way we can put him to sleep. I expect he'll probably start with Anomalous now, so I could either attack and try to burn down Anomalous quickly with a Lost Quill, or I could just bring in the Koonchong Hatchling. Well, I'd rather have the Lost Quill versus the Snake. I'd rather have the Koonchong Hatchling then versus Anomalous, so if he stayed in, that would have actually been great, because I could have just like dotted him up and pheromones and stuff for free. Well, I'd have to choose one or the other. Yeah, he made the obvious choice and swapped to Anomalous. So we're going to try to burn down Anomalous as quickly as possible. I'll go for Puncture Wound, which will hit all three of his pets for double damage, so even if he swaps, that will not save him. Not that I expect him to swap, but... Question is, do I go for Pheromones first? Let's go for Pheromones first. Yeah, I like that, actually. Okay. Puncture Wound. And then we just need to... Oh, that was a misplay. This is going to hit double damage with a Beast Racial. Oh, that was not smart. I think he forgot about the weather. I can't imagine what else he was thinking. That was very unfortunate for him. All right, so I think he's going to blind me. But last time I thought he was going to blind me, he actually went for Puncture Wound. So what I'm going to do is sacrifice my Koonchong Hatchling, because these two will easily win this 2v3. And I don't want to take a Puncture Wound on my Lost Quill to throw that away. Let's bring in the Lost Quill, and yeah, that was a big throw for him to sacrifice his snake like that. I also have the advantage of knowing how he plays now. Although he's not following a script. He did go for Blinding Poison when I thought he might go for Puncture Wound. I'm going to stay a while and listen. He might deflection it. Let's see. Nope, he didn't. So I can either Deep Research or attack. I'm going to Deep Research just to play it extra safe. He has no decoy breakers, so it's basically just a free decoy. And yeah. Solid counter. He could have played better to make the game closer, but I think I had him with this team. It's also good versus Darkness. It's not like oh, you'll beat every Darkness team with it, and really no team is, because there's always that 10% miss chance, but versus a lot of Darkness teams, this will do well, because you have the Beast to take weak damage. AoE is the enemy of most Darkness teams, because they like to use their overpowered cooldowns, and then just swap, and then use the next pet's overpowered cooldowns, and then just rinse and repeat over and over and over again, because that actually does more damage than just basic attacks, because Darkness is so overtuned. And then if you can AoE them, you can kill them on the back line while they've taken some damage before. Or at least get them low enough so that the Lost Quill can maybe clean up. He's a fantastic cleanup pet. Okay, so Anomalous Idol is such an annoying combo to counter. He does have the PS Death Adder hatchling, which I believe is 305 speed, right? Death Adder. Let's see, PS is... Yep, 305, so generally speaking, I like using the Blazehound versus Anomalous. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, because it's a speed tie with the Death Adder. I'm thinking... What other teams do I have with Widget? Because I feel like Widget is good versus both Idols and Anomalous, because he can burn both... Oh, he can burn Anomalous down fast with pounces, and he can change the weather versus the Idol. The weather changer is nice, but then these other two pets, like Clone Dance, is going to be rough versus Idols. And then the Death Adder is going to... Well, he's slower than the Damp Scrap, but he is going to, like, two-shot him. Yeah, Clone Dance is just not good into... Okay, so this team... would probably beat him really well, but it's pretty toxic, so I'm not going to play that, I don't think. It's a tier 1 team. I think I can beat him without using a tier 1 team. We got Scaly's so bad versus Idols. I don't know. This whole team is not great versus Idols, and the Poltrid's okay versus the Anomalous. Hmm. I don't know. Okay, so the Poltrid's actually kind of like a... Let me see what teams I have with the Violent Poltrid, because I am thinking about playing this team, and I like it a lot. But versus that particular team, Scaly's going to have a rough time versus both the Idol and the Death Adder. And honestly, he's not that good versus Anomalous. Scaly's very much the weak link here. He's only like a mediocre, like, I would say he's like a high B tier. Maybe you could say, well, you know, he's synergized as well. Nah, he's like 249 speed, enough said. He's slow as shit. You need speed in PvP. You'd either need speed or you need to have like a broken ability. Like you need to be like the Idol with Sandstorm. That's the only reason why the Idol's S tier is Sandstorm's overtuned. He would be a random A tier pet if Sandstorm was balanced properly, IMO. It's just, yeah, a combination of being tanky as fuck with high HP and a humanoid racial and Sandstorm passively reducing damage for the entire game. Plus, like, the 10% miss chances. Yeah, I hate idols. I'm not sure if they're my all-time least favorite pet, but I definitely hate queuing into them. So boring. Okay. Enough ranting about idols. Let's see here. Okay, now this team has no weather changer. It's fucked by idols. Cool. I can maybe still beat him, but it basically boils down to either him misplaying or... No, yeah, I don't even have dive to have a chance now. Nope. That's just, yeah. All three of these pets are fucked by idols. Because this has dots, and it's AoE dots, so it does literally nothing under a sandstorm. This gets... this loses 90% of its health to sandstorm, and then this is all multi-hit attacks that do nothing under sandstorm, and I don't even have a weather changer. Okay, this is looking like the most promising team so far. I don't like the Curious Wolvar pup because he's slower than the entire team. Well, no, he's faster than the Idol. Okay, if I start with a Poltrid... Rattlejaw is slower than the Death Adder. That's rough. I do have Bone Barrage, which is bugged to, like, hit through blinds somewhat. I think blind will always make the first barrage ability miss, but then the second and the third still have an 80% hit chance. which is nice, but I don't know. I like Rattlejaw a lot versus the Idol, but that guy's smart about his matchups, and so what he'll probably do is he'll use the Idol when I'm using these two pets, and I don't want to use Rattlejaw into the Idol because the whole idea is to use him as my cleanup pet with Consumed Corpse, which surely that guy knows. Um, Credit where credit's due. I hate his team, but he plays well. I think if I play this into him, I should lose, but there is always the chance that Snaptrap pulls through and performs a miracle. So I wouldn't say I'm guaranteed to lose. I would say I'm kind of at the mercy of does the trap go off at a good time for me or not. And we got him again. All right, well, at least we can see if I was right that his team should beat mine. Because I feel like he is playing, I would say, except for that one time where he swapped in his Death Adder and took a puncture wound to the face. He's playing pretty well, and I made the same mistake, so that's not like a noob. Well, it was pretty noob. Yeah, no, I take that back. I'm just bad. All right, let's start with the Violent Pultrid, and hopefully he doesn't start with his Idol. He didn't. That's Poggers. That means we can get some AoE damage into that Idol. I expect he'll probably use one of these two as the cleanup pet. Probably want to eat the Sandstorm. I don't know. I'm fast into both of these. After losing my racial, maybe I do eat it on the Pultrid. That's a tough one. I think I'll trade a Maul for a Sandstorm, but that might have been a misplay. It might have been better for me to bring in Rattlejaw, since I can heal with Consumed Corpse later, but I don't want to depend on having to use Consumed Corpse later. I think he'll bring in the Anomalous here, so I'm going to go for damage. Okay. I'm happy to take out the Idol. Do I think these two can beat these two? Probably not, but I don't have a beast to take weak damage on this. At least I'm giving Rattlejaw a corpse if he kills this guy quickly. I think what I'm going to do is bring in the Curious Wolvar Pup. Maybe I should have done that on the last turn, because now, if I go for Maul, he can deflection, which I think he will. So I think I'll go for Snap Trap since I'm expecting a deflection. Oh, he's not pressing it. Maybe he has Rupture? Nope. That was just a big mind game that he won. Alright, let's go for Maul. Oh, that trap was clutch. He went for the deflection and he missed. Although he has Godspeed for the rest of the game until he uses deflection again. Forgot about that bug. I mean, it's an RNG bug, but now this idol is God mode, although he is almost dead, which is thank goodness for that. All right. Do I think he's going to stay in? Oh, he totally did. Okay, so he's going for a Godspeed Sandstorm, which means it's a good thing I didn't bring in my Pultrid, or else he would have been faster. Right now he has 16,000 speed. It's pretty dangerous. Okay, does it go for deflection, sacrifices Godspeed? Nah. There wasn't much reason to. Alright. Can these two win this 2v2? I don't know. I think I should just sacrifice my Curious Wolvar Pup. I'm going to go for the Maul because he does have a 10% miss chance. Sandstorm's up. So both of these pets are relatively useless. I'm gonna bring in the Rattlejaw. Probably blind me. So, okay, I'm going to go for Skull Toss, and then if he blinds me, I'll use Bone Barrage. Because I don't think he's going to do enough damage where I want to use my Consumed Corpse. So Bone Barrage could do some damage here. Yep, the second of the third hit. Okay, he'll probably swap to Anomalous. Do I go for the Consumed Corpse? I think I go for damage. Okay, he's staying in. I missed. Oh no. Okay, maybe I go for the heal now. Okay. Go for one more Bone Barrage and then a heal. Can he kill my Violent Pultrid with AoE? He uses... Does he run Void Nova? I can't remember. I have to go for my heal now. Okay, I got a heal. If he blinds me, I can Bone Barrage. That'll land, and then I can bring in my Violent Pultrid, who should not die, even, I think, with a crit, because I take weak damage. Oh, he did get the crit. Okay. 420? Not enough to kill him. Alright. I think we still go for it, though. Because Bone Barrage will kill him. No crit for me. That would have been so nice. If I got that crit, that would be huge. Oh, he still survives. Okay, well, since Bone Barrage will kill him, now's the time for a Consume Corpse, and then we just have to try to 1v1 Anomalous with Rattlejaw. I think it's a draw. I think Anomalous has enough damage that he can burn me down. Do I go for Bone Barrage first? Or Skull Toss? I mean, it's just RNG either way. I don't think it really matters. Let me go for the Bone Barrage. Oh, he has Contagion Strike. That's why he never pressed Poison Protocol. Okay. Huh. Well, yeah, right. It might really be a draw, because that's a lot of damage. I'm not really sure why I didn't just spam Contagion Strikes. Okay. I win if I land all three of these, I think. Otherwise, it's a tie. I'm taking it, because fuck this guy and his toxic team. Normally I'd forfeit, let him take the win, fuck this guy. Fuck your pets. Good to know he has Contagion Strike. I wonder if he always has been running Contagion Strike this whole time. That makes him a little easier to counter, I guess, because I know what he has. So yeah, like I suspected, the team did not beat his. And I actually got pretty lucky with the trap. I got kind of lucky, but also kind of fucked because it gave him super speed, which... Eh. That sort of screwed me over because... Maybe I played the same team again. Wait a minute. That was a loss. No, it was a draw. Okay. I thought that rematch bugged out. Okay, so let's try a different Violent Pultrid team. What's one that will do okay versus idols? Honestly, maybe this one. I don't know. Maybe not that team. Maybe we could try this team? So he starts with the Death Adder. I feel like that's a pretty similar matchup. Probably a tie. I have the advantage of knowing he doesn't have Poison Protocol, so maybe I can save my pets more. Kind of want to like hard counter him. Did I hard counter him already? I did. Maybe I play another Autumnal Sproutling team. Let's play this team. Oh, let's queue up with this team, I should say. And look at our other teams in the meantime in case it doesn't pop quickly. Pretty sure this team will beat him like 99 out of 100 games. It's a really good team. It does very well versus Anomalous and Idols. So the third pet that he has doesn't really matter, and it's not going to be particularly effective versus either of my Sandstorm pets. Alright, thank goodness we got somebody else, because I was not having fun fighting Anomalous and Idols. Fragment of Desire is a weird pet. These two we've seen before are problematic. He started with the Bone Serpent last time, and I think he will again because he sees that Scaly, and he's going to want to do big damage to it. I think I'll start with Scaly. If he starts with somebody else, I'll go for a Toxic Bite probably. He might go for a Soul Rush. Well, let's try our luck. Do we get stunned? Oh, that I'm happy about. Maybe he thought that I thought he would bring in the Bone Serpent because he has Call Darkness, and so he thought he would bring in somebody else. I'm not really sure what he was thinking. He probably thought, based on bringing that pet, which has a bunch of magic damage, that I would start with the Pilchard. So looks like we won a, you could say a mind game. Oh, that's two mind games. I was thinking about holding my Fade in case he went for Bone Barrage like he did last time, but he's not following the script. He used Call Darkness to try to one-shot Scaly. And he has Toxic Wound on him, so even if he swaps, as long as I land this Whirling Talons, that's a ton of damage on his Bone Serpent. And he's on the back line. Please, 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 please don't miss. Oh, that's a lot of damage. 70 plus 113. He's taking 183. Yep. Every round. And now somebody's about to take a Maul. If it's got to be somebody... it's going to be you, Scaly. Sorry. It's not going to be my flyer, that's for sure. Okay, let's go for another Toxic Bite. Well, at least he doesn't have Call Darkness. Man, that pet is slow as shit. It's slower than Scaly. Well, I take that back. Apparently you don't need speed to be good in PvP. But, nah, I'm just kidding. He has Darkness and Bone Barrage. This combo right here is just disgustingly oppressive. I guess I may as well reapply the bleed. Actually, yeah, because my bleed does more damage than the Poultrid, so now he's going to die faster. That does weak damage to me, so... not only does it do weak damage, but Scaly is pretty much dead weight, so... I'm going to take that, and then I might actually just take the Call Darkness on him, because if I have to take it on one of these pets, even though it's strong damage versus him, I think it's just better for me if I take it on this one. I don't have Fade. Feels bad, but yeah, rest in peace, Scaly. You did great. You did a really good job. You're a good boy, but I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to put you down. Sorry, Scaly. Just know I'm proud of you. I'll probably bring in the Fragment of Desire. So I don't want to have my flyer taking that Soul Rush. Let's go for Spectral Strike. It's not strong versus the MPD. That MPD might just be a huge problem. I'm not sure. No, wait, no. Yes, I am sure. He is a big problem. What I'm not sure about is can I beat him? Alright, come on. Miss, miss, miss. It's your darkness. You deserve to miss. Oh, he's saving that guy for later. Oh, what if he is fancy and uses the... Nope, he's not. Okay, cool. But I still have to remember, he has a Soul Ward up. I could take down that Soul Ward with Whirling Talons, but it isn't worth passing my turn to swap right now, especially because he's about to put out a decoy, and I have no decoy breaker. I thought for a long time that Maul worked like Puncture Wound and would break decoy if they have a bleed on them. Nope. No, it does not. For those of y'all wondering. Oh, this is a great matchup. I take weak damage. I'm faster than him. If only I had a decoy breaker. Alright. I think this is a higher hit chance. I'm going to go for it. He has Soul Ward up, so even though I have one more round of Darkness, I can't hit him with that Spectral Strike anyways. Oh, if he crits and stuns me, he could win still. Okay. No crit, no stun. GG. Let's go for Call Darkness. Well, do I want to go for Call Darkness? I don't want to miss. I feel like the only way that he possibly wins at this point is if I miss. I'm going to go for Pounce. That doesn't feel right. My intuition is telling me that was the wrong move, but... it worked out. This Fragment of Desire was a little bit of a odd choice. He has two undeads. This guy likes to play two of the same family. Okay, doesn't have Soul Rush. We should be okay. Even if he crit Soul Rush, I think I'm still too high HP. If he landed a stun with that Soul Rush, he could probably have beat me, but he didn't. Okay, I gotta go back to thinking about anomalous and idols. Sip some coffee and mute while I think about that. Looking at this team, the Crow seems like it would be good versus the Death Adder, and honestly, his whole team. Decent versus idols because I have the Weather Changer and Nocturnal Strike. But if he deflections a Nocturnal Strike, I think he still wins the 1v1 because my attack power is so low. My Alpha Strike hits for piss. Damp Scrat is pretty awful versus his whole team. The Death Adder is just going to hit him and kill him in 2 attacks. Sandstorm counters Great Sting. Idol takes 0 damage from chops. And I don't really want to use him versus Anomalous because he's not like a great Anomalous killer or anything. If I get low in chomps, he could actually just be horrendous versus Anomalous. And then the Treknid Ambusher. Normally I would say bad. But, okay, so what I would probably do is he would probably start with his Death Adder. I would root him and he would dot me. Or blind me. And then once he's rooted, if I just use like Sticky Web every other turn, even if he blinds me, I can just basically trade my Ambusher for his Death Adder. Then do I win this 2v2? I think the idol's just too much. I could... Oh man, this team's 0-3. Seems like a decent team. Maybe I'll get somebody else. If I get him again, I'm just going to play Barlanor's team. I'm sick and tired of him. I'm going to play... Karaji, Shore Butterfly. Just farm him with the Autumnal Sproutling. Yeah, this team seems really bad versus his team. The idea is use this guy to one-shot, which he has a magic pet, he has a pet with a blind, and he has a pet with deflection. So all 3 of his pets are basically immune to getting one-shot, as long as he has his monitor turned on. It'd be a little hypocritical of me to play an idol after bitching so much about him. I'm hoping the Wind Trader's done. I like that team a lot. Would it be able to beat an idol? So I have a beast to take weak damage from his basic attacks. My beast is not bad versus his whole team, actually. The Deathwatch hatchling is a little bit poggy with leaps. So he can outspeed the Death Adder and Anomalous. He's not going to burn down Anomalous as fast as I would like, but he actually has a really good matchup versus Anomalous, because Anomalous is running that humanoid ability instead of Poison Protocol. Ah, another idol. Okay. Well, I'm guessing these are Pokemon names. I don't play Pokemon, but they sound Pokemon-y. Assuming that he starts with the idol, who should I start with? Probably... okay, I'm going to start with my Terracnid Ambusher. Oh, he started with the last pet I expected. He's starting with Gerald. Is he going for like immolation, feign death, into Dead Man's Party? Well, if he is, he's about to be very sad about this sticky web. Well, he definitely doesn't have feign death. Assuming he has Conflagrate. I don't want to be taking that on this guy. He's going to be my Void Scarred Anubis killer. Well, yep, no, he has to. This has to be my Anubis killer because my flyer is going to get farmed with all that magic damage. So, Damp Scrat, you're going to take the weak damage here. That immolation's hurting. Now, let's go for. Do I go for Great Sting or Uncanny Luck first? Let's go for Great Sting. It's only a 30% crit chance. Okay. I should have went for the Toxic Fumes instead of the Root. That would have been so much better. Let's 1v1 him for a second. Yeah, he's bringing it. Oh, he brought in the Undead. That was a mistake. I have strong damage versus him. That's gonna hurt his face real bad. He might actually just die if I get another high roll. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That idol is still pretty much full HP. Yep, now he's literally full HP. Great. Okay. Alright. I'm too low HP on the Ambusher to be able to 1v1 the idol, so what I'm gonna do is bring him in, Toxic Fumes, and then just try to AoE that humanoid which he's hiding on the back line for the entire game. So that he can 1v1 whoever I'm left with. Yep. He might go for a Conflagrate here to kill me. I hope that he does. Okay, fortunately I do die to the Immolate. I say fortunately because I want to get as much Great Sting value as I can into the idol so that I have a chance to 1v1 with my Crow. Alright, Great Sting first. Ow. Alright. Uncanny Luck. Okay. So we have 338 damage. Am I doing the correct math there? 3 to 38. That's not 340, but they both have a 30% crit chance. So I'm going to go for an Alpha Strike, because I want to save these abilities for the idol, or else I think I lose. Oh, come on. No crits. Ow. Okay. Well. I do have an Uncanny Luck buff, so maybe I can Call Darkness for big damage. And he took away my weather. That sucks. But I still have 100% hit, or 90% hit chance with Nocturnal Strike. Question is, does he go for deflection here? If he goes for deflection, I lose. I just go for Nocturnal Strike because if he has Spirit Fire Bolt and he lands a single one, I lose two. Yeah, I need a deflection. Good job. Very good at pet battling. That's why you play idols. The rest of his team I'm not so mad about, but fuck idols. Alright. It's Idol Knight. I hate idols. This team should do well versus idols. How about Squirky? Do I have any good teams with Squirky? I mean, this team isn't bad. I don't know if it'll beat the Wind Trader. It'll give him a little bit of a hard time. Don't have a lot of teams with Squirky. I have, looks like 2 right now. This one's gone Wilden, and it feels underwhelming. It's a little bit memey. Got Haunt, Consume Corpse. That was memey back when that comp was good, and now Haunt is nerfed into the ground like 7 different ways, so... I don't think I would mind the Wind Trader with this team. I feel like I will do well. And versus this guy, I will do fantastic. And also I know what he's running. So he's running Immolate, Conflagrate, and Burn. Don't have a critter to eat that on now, but should be okay. I think... do I start with the Heartseeker Moth? Doing some... crunching some numbers here. Apparently I'm starting with the Heartseeker Moth, and he's starting with his Micromancer. So I know he has the heal. Probably goes for Raise Ally here. Let's attack him a couple times. Do I even need Dazzling Dance versus this guy? His fastest pet is 260. Man, I just lost to a team that has 0 speed. Do I think he's going to attack or swap? Let's attack. Okay, I'm going to take a bit of damage here. No worries, I can dodge here, get a free attack. Still trying to decide whether I care about Dazzling Dance or not. The only pet that benefits from it, really, is Blight Breath, and... Nah, I think I will just forego my Dazzling Dance in favor of doing damage. My focus beams are ramped up. Do I stay in? Sure. Maybe I just trade the... Oh, okay. Didn't get a whole lot of value out of that heal. I think I just trade my flyer versus his undead. It's not a trade you see very often. Usually undeads come out on top versus flyers. But I feel pretty confident these two win the 2v2. I know Squirky farms the idol. And then Gerald is not a pet that I lose to very often. So I don't think it really matters what I use. Okay, well, let's go for a Dust Cloud. I'm surprised he's actually bringing in that idol. I guess he's seeing all these green numbers here. Well, he only has one because he doesn't have deflection, but probably go for deflection here, so I may as well use my dance. I didn't expect him to bring in the idol right away. Who do I eat the sandstorm with? Probably Blight Breath. I could either trade a Focused Beams or swap in Blight Breath. I'll bring in Blight Breath. I could change that weather on him right away. And I will. We can kill that undead on the back line, because he's low health already. So let's go for that. And they can't sandstorm for 3 turns at this point. It'll be... Oh, it'll only be 1 turn by the time Blight Breath dies. But I can still take advantage of that 1 turn with Squirky for his basic attack. I probably won't, because it'd be better for me to bubble or clobber, but... Actually? Let's see here. Does he deflection my undead turn? He does, so I can stun him. So I gotta decide. Do I take advantage of my Cleansing Rain for extra damage, or do I use Clobber so that it comes back off cooldown faster? It's a tricky one. My intuition is saying go for damage. Mostly because he might swap here, and I don't want to stun him if he's just going to be swapping. I'd rather attack him first and then stun him, right? Alright, so now we'll stun him. Yeah, also if I stunned him, then he would probably swap and take this weak damage. I mean, now he's probably going to. Do I bubble first, or do I attack first? I do want to bubble first. I would like that to be able to come off of cooldown as fast as possible. I'm surprised he's staying in on that idle. That deflection was not advantageous. It wasn't bad. It was just it didn't help him, or it actually hurt. No, it did hurt him. It hurt him because now my cooldowns come back a turn faster. I won't have clobber in time to before deflection, but I still do have it a turn faster. That deflection was bad. 288 barely lives. Okay. Maybe I crit? Nope, no crit. I was thinking about taking the sandstorm on my flyer, but I changed my mind. My flyer's still really good versus these guys because he's faster even without Dazzling Dance, so. Yeah, again, bad deflection. I get my bubble faster. That really gained him absolutely nothing, and it gained me a shorter cooldown for my bubble. At this point, if I land this clobber, I'll be able to bubble. Before he can even touch me. Those two deflections cost him the game. I think it probably won regardless because I have kind of a better matchup this time than before, but any chance that he had for me to like miss a whole bunch under Sandstorm and like lose is just gone now. Alright, Squirky does weak damage. I'm just going to keep him in until he dies, and then I'll clean up with my Moth since he's faster than Gerald. Yeah, it's over. Ding. Oh wait, that's not my talents. These are my talents. Hmm. Biting heals, 20% of flash healing also heals me. Reduces your target's physical damage by 5% for 15 seconds. Which one is better? I think I want to take one of these two because I need Desperate Pair. Yeah, I'll take that. I don't care about healing myself. I never die on Priest, so I don't think binding heals is important. Alright. How are we doing? Are we like 3 and 2, I think? We started... Oh, okay, so this was the first real game. So we got win, loss, win, so we're 2 and 1. We got oh, I forgot about the draw. 2 and 1 and 1, 3 and 1 and 1, 3 and 2 and 1, 4 and 2 and 1. I think I'll play one more game, not one more game. I'll play for one more win, and then once I get that win, we'll call it. Do I have any other Deathwatch Hatchling teams? I love the Deathwatch Hatchling. Which one of these do I like better? I feel like I played this team last video, so I'll play this team. We had a draw with a Curious Wolvarpup earlier, so we'll see if we can get him a win now. If I get that same team, though, this team is... it's gonna have a rough time. I don't have a weather changer. This guy's okay versus idols, but... I'm trying to remember this game. Didn't he, like, pog out with a deflection or something? No, he almost did, and then the trap gave him speed buff. If he didn't... So he deflectioned my maul, and then the trap stunned him. So, on paper, the trap, like, totally carried there, because he would have dodged the 443 from maul. But I feel like it actually helped him more than if the trap went off a different time. Because it gave him the speed buff, which meant that I was not able to swap in my flyer, which I wanted to do. Because normally my flyer would be much faster than him if he didn't have the deflection trap bug or whatever you want to call it. I have a list of bugs that need fixing in the game. Let me add that to it because I forgot about that one. We'll call it deflection trap bug. But deflection trap infinite speed bug. 'Cause that's been in the game forever. You don't see it a lot because it's RNG. So even if you're even if you are playing a trap pet and they're playing a deflection pet, the trap has to go off on the exact turn that he uses deflection. But yeah, y'all saw how it worked, right? It's kind of a cool bug. And the game was so close, it's hard to say. It literally turned into a draw. I feel like, well, RNG went a little better for me. Because they're at the end. Oops. There at the end, I landed a double on Bone Barrage. And... Nah, maybe he still survives. I think he's still at 190 health. Okay. Well. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. So Skull Toss did 264 to Anomalous. Yeah, okay, so that was an RNG draw because I missed I got 2 out of 3 Bone Barrages on Anomalous. This queue is killing me. Um I hit him with 2 Bone Barrages, and both of them were 2 out of 3s. So if I landed even one extra triple instead of a double, and then my Skull Toss wasn't such a low roll, because like if we look at Rattlejaw, Rattlejaw, it should hit from 234 to 434. So I got like a super low roll Skull Toss and bad RNG on Bone Barrage. I could have gotten a win still, even though he had Contagion Strike. We have a level 23 white quality shimmering Aquafly. Is he about to beat me with a level 23 pet? That would suck. Sure hope not. I want to start with the... start with the Deathwatch Hatchling. Does he go for a dodge? I feel like he's likely to. I suspect he will, so... I'm gonna bring this guy in. Oh, he totally didn't. Oh, he has a Barbed Stinger. Well, let's go for a Snapchat. Lift off. Who do I eat that on? I want the Curious Wolvar pup. So it's got to be one of these two. Maybe the Mechanical? Sure. Mechanical isn't particularly useful versus either of these two pets. He doesn't deal strong damage to any of them. Doesn't have a weather changer. Doesn't take weak damage from any of their attacks. I think that was the correct call. He doesn't have a dodge now. Let's go for the wood chipper first. The trap could always go off on its own, so I don't necessarily need to use cleanup to activate it. And I would rather the trap go off on one of these two pets, obviously. I don't want the level 23 to take it if I can avoid it. Let's go for a Thunderbolt. I'm really just hoping that trap goes off on its own. Nice. I see the green arrow. I'm not colorblind. I know that it does strong damage to him, but I didn't want to activate the trap on him if it was still out. So I suspect he'll swap. If he doesn't, is it better to go for cleanup first? Let's do that so it comes off of cooldown faster. And since he stayed in, now I got a nice 3v2. He does have Bubble and Sandstorm and lots of HP, but I think the move here is take Sandstorm on my Stone Grinder. Trade that for a Bleed. Probably get to save my Stone Grinder for later. He's not a bad cleanup pet with Thunderbolt. Could bring in the Beast to take weak damage. Or I could bring in the Curious Wolvar Pup to go for Maul. And a Trap. Going to go for Snap Trap first, just in case he deflections, and he didn't. Ah, too bad. Well, now we'll go for that Maul. Does he deflection? Nope, no deflection. Alright, thank goodness. Ah, there's the Trap. Good job, Trap. That would have been really scary if he used deflection and got the speed buff. Because, yeah, all three of my pets are actually faster than the idol, even the Deathwatch hatchling. Alright, let's see here. I'll stay in. I take weak damage from either of these attacks, so let's see what he does. I can't remember, does this guy run Mudslide or Swarm of Flies? Let's find out. I feel like it's Mudslide. I fought this guy before, but okay. Let's go for a punch. And then I have to decide. I die in one turn. Is it better to go for trap or maul? Okay, if I was him, I'd be more pissed off about me going for the trap, so that's what I'm going to go for. Ooh, especially if it goes off instantaneously. Even if it didn't go off, the fact that now he has to stress about it for the rest of the game is a big problem for him. The Aquafly was actually a pretty good combo with Ben X because he can heal him with Healing Stream. But I don't think he was playing for that. I think he was just trying to trade his level 23 for something. Alright. Well, that's a win. Probably going to call it there. The video's getting a little bit long. I never did get a Vengeance match versus this guy, but it looks like I lost one, I won one, and we had a draw, so I guess we'll call it even versus the win trader. Maybe I'll get him later. And I swear that draw was unlucky. For multiple reasons. First of all, I like low rolled all my damage on Rattlejaw. Even with him running Contagion Strike. I swear I win that 1v1 the majority of the time if I just have better RNG. Plus it was, I think it was unlucky that he got his speed buff from the trap going off when he'd used deflection. Because that kind of pigeonholed me into staying on my Curious Wolvar Pup, which I didn't want to do. I wanted to save my Wolvar Pup for later. I had a reason that I wanted to bring in the Flyer. I think that reason was... I think he was low health on something. Well, he was low health on his idol, so I could have killed him, I think, with a maul. And then gotten out like an AoE bleed. But at the time, I was assuming he had Poison Protocol because I had never seen what he was running. When he played this team, he never let me see what he had in the third slot, so I didn't realize he had Contagion Strike. Yeah, it's hard to say. I wasn't feeling confident that this team would beat him anyways, unless he misplayed, which, like I said, I feel like he played pretty well. I hate his pets, but he played them well. And he didn't play Poison Protocol, so like yeah, Anomalous is uh like S plus tier, insanely OP, but most of what makes him OP is the fact that he has so much AoE damage, and he actually wasn't running the AoE build at all. He had Toxic Fumes and Contagion Strike, which you almost never see that. I think that's the first time I've seen that, like, it, like literally just probably over a year. Which I've only been back to Pet Battles for a couple weeks now, but you get the idea. Like, you always see Poison Protocol and Anomalous, so yeah. I'm trying to think. I feel like I could have maybe won this game too. My team's just not that good. What is that team now? 0-4? So, this team, the Trachnid Ambusher, it's 0-4. It has a crow. My idea here was to have the crow as like a weather changer in case I queue into idols, and then I just got farmed by an idol with two like completely random pets. So maybe this team is just really bad. I don't feel like a darkness pet is bad. So the idea here is you can Uncanny Luck and then have like a Nocturnal Strike with a 100% hit chance. So even if you're fighting an elemental, you still have this ability. So it seems like the team would have some decent synergy. Sometimes if you have too much synergy on your team, it it makes it bad in PvP, because if you look at how to play this team, it's very scripted. You start with the Ambusher, you throw up Toxic Fumes, you bring in the Damp Scrat, Great Sting does more AoE damage under Toxic Fumes, you Uncanny Luck, and then you bring in your Crow while you have your Uncanny Luck buff, and you can do like Nocturnal Strike 100% hit chances, which, yippee, lots of synergy. They all buff each other, and they all work nicely and perfectly in harmony. But PvP is about being adaptive, and so if I fight a team where it's like, oh, yeah, bringing in my Ambusher at the start isn't ideal, I'd rather bring in like the Crow because I want to hit him hard with these two. Uh, Now I'm not playing the team how it's designed to be, and it's. I guess I could. Okay, I'll do what? I'll do a bonus battle. I'll play this team one more time, and if it loses again, I'm deleting it. Or I'm not going to delete it. I'll put it in reminders, kind of like this team. This is a similar team where I had. I don't think it was actually. Maybe I played this team. Is that a team? Why is it in reminders? Okay, let's look at Trachnid Ambusher. Okay, I take that back. Let's no, nope. I'll play this team in the next video because I want to see, was this a team that I put together on purpose, or was this like, I think this is me saying I want to try this combo, but I don't like, for example, Rattlejaw as the third pet. I feel like I either didn't like a Rattlejaw or MPD, and I wanted to try to look for like a seeking a third. But I don't see the team anywhere else. Okay. LG, win or lose. Okay, we got Anomalous, Bone Serpent, and Crimson Wing Moth. I can't remember. Does this guy actually run Moth Dust? I feel like he does. Be really useful to know. But yeah, this is an example where it's like, he might start with the Flyer, so I don't really want to bring in the Trachnid Ambusher. But if I do anything other than follow the script, then my team kind of falls apart instantly, even if I'm picking good matchups. So, alright, how do I feel about this 2v2? Honestly, not great. But we'll see what we can do. This team, like, looks like it should be really good. I don't have a decoy breaker, but they all synergize well. Oh, my opponent is AFK. Cool. No, that's too bad. I swear, sometimes, especially in the current meta, having synergy is actually worse than having counter synergy. Like, what I mean by counter synergy is running a pet like a Karaji Guardling or an Idol with a Bone Serpent. The Bone Serpent, or like, oh yeah, running like here's a perfect example that you see all the time. You'll see Idols with which have Sandstorm and then Anomalous, and you'll see them paired together. And oh, this is too bad. I wish he wasn't AFK because I'd like to test this team versus another viable team. Oh well. But yeah, back to what I was talking about since the game isn't really happening. I guess I'll swap since he's AFK and I want to try to poison Great Stag him and I deal weak damage with all my attacks. Um, so you would think, oh yeah, Anomalous as an AoE pet, it'd be bad to run Sandstorm. Sandstorm is bad with AoE, but the reality is both of those pets are so OP that even though they have counter synergy to each other, you can actually just farm wins with them because I mean you don't have to use your Sandstorm while the AoE is out, and usually even if you do, it's worth it because Sandstorm is so brokenly overtuned. And same with Darkness. Like you'll see Darkness pets with Sandstorm pets all the time. It's like, well, you're just going to change your weather and you're going to nerf your humanoid's healing, and isn't that bad? No, it's just Darkness does so much more damage than it should if the game was balanced properly. That just running like a pet with Darkness and then a pet with Sandstorm and then say Anomalous or some other S plus tier pet will like farm a 90% win rate without even knowing what you're doing. I really would just wish they would rebalance weather abilities, at least in PvP. I don't care about PvE. That's fine if Darkness is one-shotting PvE pets. Who cares? You know, the fights are difficult. It's fine if we have um, hard-hitting weather abilities in PvE, but it just ruins PvP because once you start fighting like people that only care about winning and don't care about playing fun pets or trying to, um, play a fair game, you just yeah, it devolves, devolves. Yeah, the meta devolves extremely quickly into, like I said, anomalous, fill in the blank, S tier darkness pet, aka Bone Serpent or Twilight or a darkness bird of some sort, and then a third S tier sandstorm pet, and then they're just almost impossible to counter. The only way you really have a fighting chance is if you play your own like S tier team with like double or triple sandstorm or you know the same idea, and then you just hope that it just boils down to RNG at that point. No skill required. All right, thanks for the win, mate. Not sure what that was about, but it gave me more time to ramble. I'm just gonna delete that. I'm not gonna count it as a loss, but it wasn't a win. So, okay, I think I will put this in reminders. Nah, forget about if I put it in reminders, which is uh ironic. But yeah, I never look at my reminders team when I'm like playing. I only look at it whenever I'm like trying to come up with ideas for teams or well, that's pretty much yeah. That's what my reminder team tab is for. I guess I could try this team later. How do I feel about this team? I guess the idea is you start with the ambusher. The thing is, there's no synergy with this team at all. It's basically just, well, two decent cleanup pets, and then the tracted ambusher. I feel like I was trying to put this as a reminder to try out this combo with a third pet, and then also this combo with a third pet. But I don't see Terachnid. I don't see any teams here with either. Do I have any Rattlejaw teams? Well, we do have these two. None of them have a MPD in them. I feel like this isn't a pair of pets that I would use very often, but I guess it could be decent if I'm queuing to like Sandstorm, maybe, because this is good versus humanoids. This has decoy. Decoy's annoying for Sandstorm. Huh. Anyways, enough rambling for me. I'm gonna call it there and queue some more later. See you on the next one.